Hi, welcome to Reclaim Optimal Health. I'm Marl Salerno, and in today's video we're going to talk about the coronavirus and what you can do to protect yourself from it. I just wanted to first start off by saying I apologize for the microphone situation that we're having today, so just bear with me. You're going to be hearing just regular video sound quality, but I felt that this was so important that I wanted to get it out there regardless of the fluff of sound quality. I wanted to begin by talking about some of the statistics of the coronavirus. So as of just before this video, which today is February 6th, I see that the number infected is over 28,000 and the number dead is reaching closer towards 600. I believe it's about 567. And this is more than over a 2,000% increase since the numbers that came out about 13 days ago, which began at 916 people infected. So it's a huge explosion of the coronavirus. And most of the people that are dying from the coronavirus are over the age of 50, and it unfortunately does make sense. It's probably because, unfortunately, as people do age, they have more diagnosed conditions or just in turn inflammation in their bodies. So they're much more vulnerable and susceptible to catching things and also not being able to fight them off, unfortunately. Now, part of the reason that this transmits so easily is because it's airborne, right? So if you're within 6 feet of someone who's coughing or sneezing that's carrying the coronavirus, your likelihood of catching it is a lot higher. Now, the fatality rate for the coronavirus is about 15%, and the infection rate is 83%. The other element to take into consideration is that scientists and researchers are beginning to see already that the coronavirus is actually mutating, and it's mutating even within small households. So it's pretty scary, and at the same time, there's a lot that we can do to protect ourselves and maintain our calm and our composure. Now, symptomologies of the coronavirus do look very similar to a cold or a flu. So there's, congestion, there's coughing, there's sneezing, and there's fever. But the coronavirus itself doesn't have any kind of unique symptomology, at least on the outward expression, that would be easy for us to recognize. Unfortunately, you would have to go in to see if you have the coronavirus or not and be tested. Now, the interesting part of this story, I believe, is how the only laboratory in China that has this biosafety level 4 super laboratory status is in Wuhan itself. And they are given permission to deal with the world's most deadly pathogens, like the coronavirus. And what's interesting to me about this lab was designated by the WHO, by the World Health Organization, and they actually knew what was going on with the coronavirus and the leakage or the oopsie that happened from this lab, which is really, really disappointing. Now, I'm sure some of you have been hearing that the coronavirus has come from snakes or rats or bats, and those are animals that they consume in China. However, this is definitely a lab-made virus, and it's fully confirmed. And the reason is because of something that's called the P-shuttle vector tool. Now, the P-shuttle vector tool is like a fingerprint, in the sense that it allows a creator of a pathogen, in this case, to go in and create modifications to a gene code sequence. So the P-shuttle vector tool, you have to use it in order to create modifications to a genetic code. And then it has to be left there for those modifications to function, right? So now people are taking a really deep look at the coronavirus and seeing this P-shuttle vector tool within the virus itself. And that would never happen in nature. They are also seeing, as they're analyzing this coronavirus, that it has genetic insertions of the SARS virus as well within it. And the reason they were able to do that, the creators, is because they use this P-shuttle vector tool. So it's full confirmation that this was lab created and it hasn't come from nature. So now that you know some of the background information and the stats about the coronavirus, what is it that you can do to protect yourself from it? Now, first and foremost, we want to make sure that we reduce inflammation, stress, boost immunity, and boost detoxification in the body. Those are going to be the utmost elements for you to apply to keep yourself healthy and strong, especially during this time. Because as we're noticing and hearing is that probably we're going to see the height of this coronavirus in China within the next 2 months. And then likely as it comes here in the United States and of course other countries as well, we're probably going to see the peak of it here in the United States in probably about June-ish, so beginning of summer or so. So there's a lot that you can do preventatively now to strengthen yourself and prepare yourself and also try not to expose yourself to it. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do is make sure to have good hygiene, which means wash your hands really well with warm to hot water and using really great soap so that you're cleaning things off regularly, and you're probably going to be washing your hands a lot more than you're used to, right? And you really want to make sure you're washing your hands after you urinate or you defecate. So it's not like you go pee and it's no big deal and you don't wash your hands. You gotta wash your hands religiously, okay? The other element, of course, to consider is also the air quality. So you could definitely wear a mask if that's something that you're comfortable with doing, but I think a lot of people get uncomfortable with wearing masks. But regardless, what you can do is just make sure that when you sneeze or you sneeze or cough into your elbow rather than into your hand. Because we touch shopping carts, we touch keys, we touch money, we touch items, we touch people, right, with our hands. And so we want to try to limit our germs as much as possible. And so coughing or sneezing into the elbow is a really easy way of combating that. And then also, if you see people coughing or sneezing, try to stay away from them, and also kindly just ask them if they could please use their elbow to cover their mouth or their nose. And I think most people would be like, oh yeah, I'm so sorry, you know, and cover up, because we really want to limit the spread of these germs. It's really, really important. Now, a couple things that I do and that we do in our family, regardless of the coronavirus, to help cement those efforts of washing your hand and, you know, not spreading the air and the germs from the virus, is we actually use Thieves Oil. And Thieves Oil has a combination of oils. It's got cinnamon oil, clove oil, eucalyptus, rosemary, lemon oil, and some Thieves oils have other slightly different combinations. But it's very potent, and what you can do is just take it, spray it onto your hands a couple times, rub your palms together, take a whiff in, it's strong, and then go ahead and rub the top of your lip with a little bit. And what it does is it boosts immunity, and it's also an antiviral. So I always keep this in my purse. It's really clean. It's diluted with water, which is essential and critical, because otherwise it would be way too strong. And it's really safe for children, okay? So it's a great thing to do for everyone. And then on top of the Thieves Oil, we apply this silver gel. So it's using a silver nanotechnology, which has been found in their research that it actually has a positive effect in people who have contracted the SARS virus. And as we just talked about earlier, the SARS virus has been found in the coronavirus. So I'm sure it will have a positive effect. And all you do is you just take a little dab in the center of your palm and rub your hands together as if you're applying cream on the hands, but get onto the tops of your fingers, your fingernails, and the tops of your hands really thoroughly. You could even apply this onto your face. Just make sure you don't get it into your eyes. You want to keep it around the eyes because it is really potent stuff, and you don't want it getting in there because it could be very irritating. Okay, so those are for your hands. Now, we were talking about sneezing and coughing and making sure that you cover up using your elbow, but the other element that you could do, because this coronavirus does travel through the air, is take care of your nostrils. So iodine, of course, is a wonderful supplement that you can take orally, but there was a study that was done in the 1940s on rats where they took a drop of the iodine, placed it on a rat's nose, and they just didn't get sick. So this is something that I do as well, and it's very, very simple and easy. Just make sure that your pinky finger is really clean. Put a dab of Nascent iodine, I find is the highest quality iodine. And then just with one drop, you can swab the insides of your nostrils. And we know that with iodine, it's an immune booster as well as a detoxifier. So it's going to help combat a lot of those pathogenic infections that are going to want to come through because you are boosting your immune system and you're sealing it in your nose where air travels. Okay, so we've got those two guys. We've got how we're going to keep our hands clean, keep ourselves clean, as well as what we can do as far as air quality and how we're breathing. But now also thinking about the antioxidants. Oh, and don't let me forget, this silver gel actually has a liquid formula as well, and that liquid formula is at 20 parts per million versus the silver gel is at 10 parts per million. So with the liquid form of this Nano-Silver, you can actually take a teaspoon into the mouth and then gargle with it for 30 seconds and then go ahead and swallow with it. And again, another great immune booster and really, really supporting of the body. Okay, so we were talking about antioxidants a second ago. I was just bringing that up. Of course, foods that are rich in antioxidants is going to be excellent. So lots of berries, lots of vegetables, making sure that you're eating your grains and your nuts, that they're soaked and or sprouted would be the best because it's going to be the lowest inflammatory factor, as well as making sure you're cooking your meats at a very low temperature. But with antioxidants specifically, like you would find in berries, that is what helps to combat inflammation, right? And inflammation in essence is a stressor. And what does stress do to the body? It decreases your immunity. So we really want to boost our immune system, which means we need to decrease our inflammation, and we can combat that with antioxidants. So of course, things like vitamin C, this is a liposomal vitamin C, and you want to, generally the recommendation is to take about 1,000 milligrams a day, but you could go up to 2,000 to 3,000, taking it 2 to 3 times a day. And that definitely helps to boost the immune system as well as, of course, boost antioxidants and reduce inflammation in the body. But also things like GSC, which is grapefruit seed extract, great immune booster as well as an antioxidant. And then melatonin. People always think that melatonin is just a sleep hormone, which it definitely is. However, it's an amazing antioxidant. And if you're using it for a short period to boost your antioxidant levels, it's a great thing, as long as your body responds really well to it. Now, other elements that you can also use to help boost the immune system is something called Biocidin. Uses a lot of different elements in it, a lot of Chinese herbs, garlic, oregano, different elements of this nature within this tincture, but it's super immune boosting and it's generally used for eliminating pathogenic infections. So it doesn't have evidence on the coronavirus, but I could see it being very supporting to anyone's process as you're protecting yourself. Now, of course, all of these are super handy, right? There's also something that you can make at home, which is called the Master Tonic. And actually, Sarah Pope, the Healthy Home Economist, just put out a post the other day. And the Master Tonic is just taking foods like onions, cayenne pepper, garlic, habanero pepper, horseradish, ginger, chopping up those elements, really spicy, really strong, and putting them in a jar, covering it with apple cider vinegar, and then, of course, sealing the jar, shaking it daily for 2 weeks. And then at the end of 2 weeks, straining it out so that you get a nice liquid that you're rendering from it. And then you'd be consuming that liquid on a daily basis. And it's very strong, very potent, but it's definitely something that you can make at home and you don't have to purchase anything. Obviously, extremely immune boosting and antiviral. So that's critical as we're talking about this coronavirus. Now, other things that you can do for yourself, of course, just on a day-to-day basis is, as I mentioned, eating foods that are rich in antioxidants, like vegetables, like berries, etc., but also making sure that those foods and those meats and those grains and those nuts, etc., are organic. Because organic foods really reduce the inflammatory level and the stressors in the body because they're not full of chemicals and, of course, genetically modified organisms, right? And the other element to consider is hydration, staying super hydrated, drinking lots of water. So for most adults, that's at least 6 to 8 glasses of water a day. And that's not including things that would be like in a smoothie, etc. Okay, just making sure that you're getting nice, clean water throughout the day. And that means you have to drink fairly consistently throughout the day. But keeping that hydration really helps to move anything that's stagnant in the body. It keeps you healthy. And a couple other tips that I think are super important for you to consider that are just daily lifestyle behaviors and strategies is getting great rest. Try to make sure that you're asleep by 10 o'clock at night and getting up hopefully at an hour when the sun is rising and you're feeling refreshed. We don't always have control about the hour that we're going to wake in the morning, but really trying to get to bed early. And then, of course, the other element is making sure that we have rituals in place in our daily life to help reduce stress. So just talking about the coronavirus and thinking about it can be very, very stressful, right? Because we're like, wow, this is impacting a lot of people. People are dying from this. People are really sick from it. And it can start to put us in a state of fear. And a state of fear is definitely stressful and makes us reactive rather than responsive. So making sure that you're doing some daily breath work, some daily meditation. It can literally be 5 minutes of each of those things, and it can have a huge positive impact on your stress levels and reducing inflammation. Taking a walk out in nature where there's no people would be the best, considering the situation. And then getting sunlight directly on you in the morning hours for 10 to 20 minutes are some of the best rituals for boosting just overall health, and will definitely help to boost immunity and overall balance in the body. So I hope this video was helpful for you all. I hope you've learned something. I hope you have some strategies now that you can actually implement and do on a daily basis. Please protect yourself, keep yourself healthy, keep yourself strong. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to email me. I'll leave that down below in the link. And I will be sure to link any of the elements of supplements and links to this master tonic for you, as well as any of the studies. And if you have any inflammation in your body or any sicknesses and you've been in a cycle of trial and error and you're ready to be done with it, then please schedule a 45-minute consult with me and we will meet up and see what we can do for you. And until next time, I hope you all stay well, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.